In screenwriting, there's something called the all is lost moment, and maybe the best way I can illustrate it is through the movie The Avengers, for those of you that have seen it. It applies across the board to a lot of different movies, but this one was reasonably popular, so I'm betting a good number of you have seen it. Well, there's a point about 2/3 of the way through the movie where it looks like the villain's going to win. The bad guy, who's Loki, he's managed to separate all of our heroes. They're infighting amongst each other, and Loki's gone off, and he's about to do his thing. And the first time that you're watching this movie, when you reach that part of it, you're going to be thinking, oh my gosh, how on earth are the heroes ever going to get out of this? Because when you're watching it the first time, you don't see any possible path for them to overcome the situation they're currently in. And that's kind of the point of the third act of the film. It's working that out so that your heroes actually do manage to overcome those seemingly insurmountable odds, and they get their happy ending. Everything all works out in the end. So that's the difference between watching a movie the first time and watching it the second time. The first time, when you reach that all is lost moment, you're probably genuinely concerned for these characters that hopefully you've come to care about. But the next time you're watching the film, you don't have as much of a concern. That all is lost moment doesn't impact you in the same way. Why not? Because you already know the ending. You already know that no matter how bad things look right now, they are going to work out in the end. It's the same reason why when you're reading a book, you don't skip to the last chapter. Because if you skip to the last chapter of the book and you know how everything works out, it takes away some of the impact of the drama of the journey that the book takes you on in order to get you there, right? Well, what I want you to do today is I want you to imagine as if your whole life was a book. All right, chapter 1 tells the story of your birth, and each consecutive chapter after that just tells the next part of your life story. Now, during the course of our life story, we all have chapters that feature an all is lost moment for us, right? Some more powerful than others. It can be, some severe, serious illness. It can be unemployment. It could be even divorce. And when we're going through those chapters in our life, it looks like they're insurmountable. Those are our all is lost moments. Now, if the last chapter of your book was the day you die, then those all is lost moments can become even more tragic. Because for a lot of people, if that was the case, for a lot of people, their all is lost moment is their last moment. If you have someone who dies from cancer, they go through a very difficult time leading up to their death, and then if that's the end of the book, that's the end. We hear all the time about how life is not like the movies, right? The good guys don't always win. Things don't always work out in the end. Well, that type of thinking is based upon the thought process that last chapter in your book is your death. What I'm here to tell you, however, is the last chapter in your book is not titled death. It's titled eternity. That's what the last chapter looks like for the believer. See, death is not the end. It's only the start of the next chapter. And if you have faith in Jesus Christ, then it really is a happy ending. God has given you an excerpt from the last chapter of the book of your life story. And I want to read a bit of it to you. It goes like this. It says, "And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, 'Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away.'" God has given you a glimpse of the last chapter of your book, and it is a happy ending. He didn't promise, mind you, to take away your all is lost moments. You're still going to go through them in the earlier chapters. But what he did is he gave you a glimpse of what the last chapter is so that those all is lost moments don't have the same impact on you as they would if you didn't know the last chapter. It's the difference between the first time you watch The Avengers and every other time when you watch The Avengers and you know that your heroes are going to find their way out of it. All right, it's like knowing the last chapter of a book that you're reading, so you know that your heroes do win in the end. Your all is lost moments don't have quite as much of an impact on you if you already know that they're only temporary. And as a matter of fact, the amount of time they're going to last in this lifetime pales in comparison to the amount of time that last chapter is going to last in eternity. So my challenge for you this week is I'd like you to take a long look at your life right now. And I want you to ask yourself, what things are you stressing over right now that maybe don't look quite as dark when you already know what the final chapter is going to be and that it is all going to work out and you've got a glorious final chapter waiting for you. Thank you very much. God bless.